What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into the dawn of DC with Shazam issue number 1, with a story written by Dan Mora and Mark Waid. The colorist is Alejandro Sanchez, and this story is coming out of the events of Lazarus Planet, with Mary Marvel now having her own set of Shazam powers. She's off doing her own thing while we have Billy, still really trying to find his way in the world, but he's also trying to learn how to share his powers again. After Lazarus Planet, he is unable to share his powers with anybody, having no mentor and no guidance. We have seen that Billy has turned the Rock of Eternity into more the Clubhouse of Eternity. But his world is about to be turned upside down, cause a mysterious individual in the shadows is manipulating everything. The only question remaining, can Billy figure this out before it is too late? Now, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up with Captain Marvel. And it really does seem like Mark Waid and Dan Mora are trying to focus more on this idea that he is not so much Shazam as he is Captain Marvel. Now, they don't refer to him Captain Marvel one time in this comic, but what we have seen is that Mary Marvel and the others, they started referring to him as Captain. Now, this is more of an inside joke between them, but it's a nice little way to steer away from using Shazam all the time. I guess it's kind of like finding middle ground. It's not necessarily Captain Marvel, it's not Shazam, it's somewhere right in the middle. But we are picking up with Captain Marvel, and he is riding a T-Rex. Using vines as reins, he is trying to control this dinosaur before it goes careening off the edge. As they get closer and closer to the cliff, it is already too late. As him and this dinosaur go falling down to the ground, we see Captain Marvel move with the quickness. Creating a net of vines, we see that the Tyrannosaurus Rex is saved just in the nick of time. In saving this T-Rex, what we learn is that this T-Rex can actually talk. More than that, this is a youngling. This is not even an adult T-Rex. You see, a couple hours ago, a spaceship belonging to a family of interstellar dinosaurs had crash landed. By the time that Captain Marvel had come to check this out, their kid had wandered off. And so now Captain Marvel is reuniting them. And we learn that these are very intelligent dinosaurs that aren't trying to do any harm. In fact, they have him sit down and they drink some tea with him. And these dinosaurs would like to know a little bit of history on Earth and the individuals that have power here, as they ask if everybody here has the same powers or at least something similar to what he has. That's when Captain Marvel goes on to explain where his powers come from. But after a little bit of tea time, he gets them moving. Even with the repairs to the ship, it wasn't enough for them to do a proper takeoff. And so Captain Marvel, he helps them out into space. He gives them that extra boost, and those T-Rexes are headed home. That's what picks us up at the Rock of Eternity, the gigantic structure at the center of all space and time. And with Captain Marvel bringing his newest souvenir, the giant teacup that the T-Rexes had given him, we see that this is not his only object that he has been gathering. Everything that he does, he collects a little bit of a souvenir. He brings it back here, back to the Rock of Eternity, which is looking more and more like a clubhouse. And we have seen that Billy has been spending a lot of time here, whether it's playing with action figures, bowling, listening to music, looking into old superhero research where we see Batman and Robin on the TV, or simply playing video games. But with all of this downtime, there's not much going on. This is where we have the arrival of Freddy, with Freddy coming in and calling him Captain. Captain Marvel would love for him to stop doing this. Most recently, having a maritime accident, him and Mary Marvel have been calling him Cap ever since that day. But Freddy has really come to see if anything has changed with the Captain Marvel powers. Once upon a time, he was able to share these powers, but today that has changed. Ever since Lazarus Planet, he has been unable to share his powers with his friends. As the two of them recognize that they're gonna be late for homeroom, we see the two of them take off. But they were not alone in the Rock of Eternity. This is where we have two figures that come out of the shadows. Now, if I were to make a guess, this is Zeus and Merlin. At least that's what it's looking like. Now, this old guy that looks like a wizard, he could be any wizard, to be honest. We know it's not the wizard Shazam. He has already handed over the keys. He has let Billy know that he messed up. And so I think it's safe to assume that the wizard Shazam has nothing to do with this. And what other notable wizards in history would have a big gray beard, all of that good stuff, outside of Merlin? But the man that is with him, he definitely resembles Zeus. They are currently discussing on how to get things back to normal, to restore the reputation of the gods. They believe that they must take action, that Billy needs a little push. And so while they make their moves, we pick up with Billy and Freddy. Making their way to school, we're seeing that they just do the day-to-day. Go to school, do gym, go to play sports, all of that good stuff. But once school is done, we are seeing that Billy has come up with an ingenious idea. Living in the age of technology, he's decided to kind of do the latest news on Shazam, the adventures of Captain Marvel and his friends. This was originally Freddy's idea, but it's a way for them to monetize everything, for our superheroes to make a little bit of money while they're out there helping everybody. And if you've been reading DC or Marvel comics, you have seen that this is kind of a running theme, and it's actually a really good idea. We live in the age of technology. We live in the age of YouTube and everything else. So if we had superheroes walking around, you can bet your bottom dollar that they're gonna be recording it and it's gonna be going up. Somebody's gonna do it, whether it be the superheroes or somebody just trying to monetize the success and the heroism of those heroes. So why not the heroes do it themselves? But this is when an 8.4 earthquake hits Southern California. With Billy yelling Shazam, we see Cap take off to the skies. Going to the destruction, buildings falling all over the place. He jumps into action. He begins to save lives. With rock slides coming down, he is trying to save as many people as possible. And we can see that the news crews are already here. They are bearing witness to Captain Marvel saving all of these people. And at first, everything seems fine. Everything seems okay. With a woman coming up, hugging him, saying, "How could I ever thank you?" This is where we see some kind of switch flip in his head. Not sure how this happened or why this happened, but we see him get extremely angry. He starts calling them pathetic. He says that you should be thanking me. He's calling them stupid, that they should all be grateful, that they should be down on their knees begging for his help. They should be groveling, letting him know that he is the best. His entire persona changes in an instant, and just like that, he snaps out of it. The only problem, people were recording. The news was going out globally, which means everybody saw this. And now he is stuck wondering, what have I done? And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Definitely not a bad issue. Me personally, I'm ready to see some growth with Billy. You know, the last 2 years or so, it's really seemed like they don't know what to do with Shazam. I mean, he was in Teen Titans Academy for a while. He didn't really have access to his powers at the time. There was a lot going on with him. And then Lazarus Planet happens. He loses his powers, he gets his powers. Now he has his powers, but he can't share his powers. But at the end of the day, he's still just a teenager. I would like to see him actually grow, like we're seeing with Damian Wayne, like we're seeing with Jonathan Kent. We are seeing them actually progress into the heroes that they're one day gonna be. Not to diminish the heroes that they are currently, but we're seeing them grow up. We're seeing them get in relationships. We're seeing them break away from their parents and go down their own path. And while Billy doesn't really have the mentor like Batman or Superman, he definitely deserves the opportunity to grow. And that's one thing I feel like the Shazam comics have been lacking for a long time. I am ready for Billy to begin aging up, to move past the adolescence, and become the hero that he is truly meant to be. But Dan Mora and Mark Waid, I trust both of them to give us a good story. So regardless of my feelings on the direction that people have been taking Shazam in recent years, I do have a lot of hope for this comic. It starts us right out the gate with dinosaurs that can talk to you from outer space, and then what appears to be Merlin, standing side by side with Zeus. We can assume that these guys are the reason that Billy had snapped in that moment while saving everybody. But let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories, if you would like to get completely caught up on everything going on with this series. Be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything going on with Dawn of DC. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only does this help out the channel tremendously, but you're getting tons of perks in the process. If you are unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.